20 minutes into a World Cup semifinal, Lamine Yamal went down inside the France penalty area. Referee Yvan Barton did not hesitate. His arm extended immediately toward the penalty spot. Spain had a penalty, and at Dallas Stadium, with a place in the World Cup final at stake, the match had just changed. But as Kylian Mbappé turned to the referee, pointing furiously, pointing at his own arm, pointing at the space where replays were already showing what appeared to be the ball making contact with Yamal's head in the build-up to the challenge, something else became clear as well. VAR was reviewing. The monitor was live. Officials in a remote location were studying the footage from multiple angles, and after examining what millions of viewers at home were already debating in real time, VAR let the on-field call stand. Spain kept the penalty, Mikel Oyarzabal converted, and France, a team that has spent this entire tournament on the wrong side of decisions that VAR has handled inconsistently, was behind in a World Cup final before the first half had reached its midpoint. This is the story of the moment that ended France's World Cup, and why the question it has left behind may be the most uncomfortable this tournament has yet forced football to confront. The sequence that produced the penalty began with a Marc Cucurella cross into the France area. Lucas Digne brought the ball down on his chest and shaped to clear. At that precise moment, Lamine Yamal, 17 years old and already one of the most talked-about players at this tournament, stepped across him. He took the full force of Digne's attempted clearance to his body. He went down. Barton pointed to the spot without a moment's hesitation. The contact between Digne and Yamal was real. It was visible, and the laws of the game, as applied by the referee standing closest to the incident, produced a penalty. But before Digne swung his leg, before the contact, before the fall, Yamal's arm appeared to make contact with the ball. A graze, a slight deflection. Mbappé saw it immediately, his teammates saw it, and the millions watching the Fox Sports replay, which circulated faster than any piece of footage from this tournament since the Croatia hair touch clip, saw it too. Now here is where the technical argument must be stated honestly, because what happened in Dallas was not straightforwardly comparable to the incidents that have defined this tournament's VAR controversies. The handball laws introduced in recent years contain a specific provision for exactly this kind of situation. An attacker's arm that is tucked close to their body, not extended outward in an unnatural position, carries with it a presumption of innocence. Natural arm position means no automatic handball. And according to multiple analysts reviewing the footage, Yamal's arm in that moment was close to his body, not raised or extended in a way that FIFA's current handball framework would automatically consider an infringement. Furthermore, the penalty awarded to Spain was not for the handball. It was for the subsequent challenge on Yamal. Under the current laws, a handball in the immediate build-up to a goal-scoring opportunity does not automatically cancel a foul that occurs after it. The two actions are judged separately, and it was the foul, not the handball, that Barton and VAR were asked to assess. That technical framework is coherent. It was applied, according to the officials involved, correctly. And yet, football has spent 6 weeks watching VAR at this World Cup apply every available technical framework with a consistency that has defied coherent explanation. A goal disallowed in Atlanta for a foul committed 25 seconds earlier on the other side of the pitch. A hair touch invisible to every camera, ending Croatia's tournament. A simulation red card applied under a protocol never previously used at a World Cup. A sensor detecting no contact with a camera cable while Fox Sports broadcast the impact to millions of viewers. In every one of those cases, the technical framework applied produced an outcome that punished the team that it believed had done something right. The foul before Egypt's goal was real but distant. The hair touch was real but imperceptible.
The Embolo contact was real, but adjulutioned insufficient.
In Dallas, the handball was visible enough to be spotted by Mbappe in real time, replayed on screens around the stadium, and debated by analysts within seconds of the penalty being awarded, and VAR reviewed it. VAR looked at it through multiple angles in slow motion from the same remote location that has intervened in dozens of other matches at this tournament with decisive and irreversible consequences, and VAR stood down, arm tucked, natural position, no handball. Italian analyst Tancredi Palmieri did not reach for diplomatic language when he delivered his verdict on the incident. "Absolutely stupid to award that penalty to Spain," he said. "It is against the philosophy of the game." Others pointed at Yamal himself, arguing that the young Spanish forward had stepped into Diña's path deliberately, having handled the ball moments earlier, and had thrown himself into the contact rather than received it. Lamine Yamal just threw himself blindly, hoping to be kicked, not even playing the ball, one widely shared analysis concluded. Whether that characterization is entirely fair to a 17-year-old competing at the highest level of the sport matters less than the fact that it reflects a genuine perception among a significant portion of the watching world. And when perceptions like that accumulate around a World Cup's refereeing narrative, the specific technical explanation, however sound, becomes increasingly difficult to hear above the noise. Barton himself arrived at this match carrying a history that had already generated discussion before the opening whistle. The Salvadoran official has worked at 2 World Cups and established himself as one of CONCACAF's most respected referees, but his career has also included a 2023 CONCACAF Nations League semi-final in which he issued 4 red cards before the match was abandoned due to crowd disorder. A late penalty to Mexico against Panama in World Cup qualifying that was widely criticized, and a performance at the 2022 World Cup that drew questions about his consistency in handling physical contests. He is not a figure who arrives at a stage of this magnitude without a record, and that record was scrutinized more than ever in the hours before he walked onto the pitch in Dallas. France's experience in this semi-final was also shaped by a cruelty entirely separate from the penalty controversy. William Saliba, one of the best central defenders in European football and a pillar of the defensive structure that had kept France competitive through every round of the tournament, was forced off before the half-hour mark with an internal injury. He did not fall from a challenge. He stopped running, signaled to the bench, and was replaced by Maxence Lacroix. France were behind to a contested penalty. Their first-choice central defender had gone off injured, and they were facing the reigning European champions with less than 30 minutes of the first half completed. Despite Mbappe coming close, despite France reorganizing themselves around a defense weakened by Saliba's absence and reshaping their attacking approach to chase the match, Spain held. Oyarzábal's penalty proved enough. Spain reached their first World Cup final in 16 years, and France's tournament, for the second consecutive major competition, ended in a manner their supporters will spend months trying to make sense of.
It is the accumulation of this tournament's French experience that gives this specific controversy its particular weight. France's players were denied black armbands to honor the mother of their absent coach in the group stage. They watched Adrien Rabiot's apparent handball in the build-up to the goal that eliminated Morocco go without meaningful VAR review. And now, in their semifinal, they watched Lamine Yamal's apparent handball in the build-up to the penalty that beat them receive a VAR review that produced no intervention either. 3 moments, 3 matches, 3 instances in which France believed they saw something that the officials did not act upon. And the question their supporters are asking, with an increasing urgency that this tournament's atmosphere has made impossible to dismiss, is whether those 3 experiences represent a random distribution of difficult decisions across a long tournament, or whether something more systematic has been operating beneath the surface. No evidence has emerged at this World Cup to support the stronger version of that question.
No proven bias, no demonstrated pattern of deliberate unfairness targeting France or any other specific nation. The specific technical explanations for each of the three incidents are available and, in isolation, defensible. But this tournament has demonstrated repeatedly and at considerable cost to the nations on the receiving end that technical correctness and visible fairness are not always the same thing. And when the same nation is on the wrong side of three technically correct but visibly contested decisions across 4 matches, the requirement to engage with that experience honestly goes beyond issuing another statement about referees' integrity. France are out. Spain are in the final. The football will go on. But Mbappe's arm, raised in protest on the Dallas pitch, pointing toward the spot where a handball appeared to graze a 17-year-old's wrist before a penalty was awarded and a VAR review found nothing to act upon, will be one of this tournament's most lasting images. Not because it proves anything, but because it asks a question that this World Cup keeps refusing to answer. If the same technology that detected a hair touch invisible to every camera in Atlanta found nothing to act upon in Dallas, what exactly is the standard? And is it the same standard for every team, every time, in every match? France deserved that answer while they were still in the tournament. They are asking for it now that they have gone home.